Grand Rising, everyone. Today we are reading our Sabbath School lesson, which discusses illusions, images, symbols, and how to study Bible prophecy. Please send this to someone you love. Today we are discussing the Genesis Foundation, starting April 5th. The memory text says, "The next day John saw Jesus coming toward him and said, 'Behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world.'" That's John 1, verse 29. One of the key problems with modern interpretations of the Bible prophecies, such as Revelation, is that they fail to recognize the ancient roots of Revelation. The author assumes a knowledge of the Old Testament and uses concepts that would have been well known to his audience. While searching the entire Bible for passages that resemble the text you are studying in Revelation is useful, there are also core texts that set the stage for understanding the book better than do other texts. This is particularly true of Genesis, which lays out the path by which our world descended into sinful chaos. Nearly every key concept mentioned in Revelation appears in some form in the opening chapters of the Bible. This week, we are going to study a handful of big concepts of the core of Revelation. There are many, and so we will choose a few to illustrate the all-important point that understanding the ancient foundations behind Revelation enables the student to see countless nuances in the text, each of which can yield important lessons about the nature of humanity, of God, and of the conflict being waged in our universe and thus in our lives as well. We move on to Sunday, April 6th. The principle of first mention. Most academic programs begin with a general survey course, often given the number 101, a course that covers broad and basic principles that will form the basis for further study as you dig deeper into the subject. Likewise, when you read through the entire Bible, you quickly discover that God also has a general survey course in the book of Genesis, where he introduces ideas that will be examined in more detail throughout the rest of the Bible. Generally speaking, the first time a concept or symbol is mentioned in the Bible, particularly if in the opening chapters of Genesis, you will discover that it establishes a general understanding of that concept, which will help you understand how it's being used later on. Some Bible students refer to it as the law of first mention, although it would more properly be labeled a principle or pattern rather than a law, because it is certainly not ironclad, and there are many exceptions to the rule. The pattern that seems to emerge both in general Bible study and in Bible prophecy is that God slowly feeds his children information over time, beginning with a basic concept and then enlarging on it many times over the years or even the centuries. Read Isaiah 40:7-8, Malachi 3, verse 6, and Hebrews 13 and verse 8. What principle can you derive from these texts that would help you properly anchor your study of prophecy? Much of the modern world speaks about truthiness instead of truth, because it assumed that truth is the malleable thing that can change over time. Or, in some cases, the very concept of truth itself is deemed suspect. When God establishes truth, however, he does not change his mind. Once he begins teaching his people, we can count on the fact that repetitions of the same biblical principle or theme do not change its meaning, but in contrast shed further light on that meaning. It makes great sense in studying prophecy, therefore, to develop a good understanding of the book of Genesis, where you may find many key concepts explained for the first time, and then take that foundational understanding with you as you explore the rest of the Bible. Why is it so important that we not allow anyone or anything, no matter how smooth or even logical, to weaken our faith in the Bible and the infallible truths that it teaches? What are even subtle ways that this weakening can happen? This is Pastor Patrick Graham from the Glenridge Seventh-day Adventist Church. Thank you for listening and subscribe to get this every day. And today, God bless you real good.